The military used you as an asset, and assets depreciate in value. You are now being compensated for your depreciation in value. This is the way you should think about it. You're an asset and you depreciate it in value. I think this is a good, bold statement that describes disabilities, 100% VA disability ratings. And if you look at it, it doesn't say anything about how you should feel or how another disabled veteran may feel about you getting a 100% rating, or how a civilian may feel about you getting a 100% rating. Welcome back. Today we're talking about why you deserve a 100% VA disability rating and why you shouldn't feel guilty about it. Before I dive into it, if you want to learn more about the VA claims process, check out my boot camp. And if you need medical evidence, hit up my med team. There's an email address in the description. I'm going to be breaking this down into 3 different categories today. What civilians think about your 100% VA disability rating, what other disabled veterans think about your 100% VA disability rating, and then what you think about your 100% VA disability rating. So let's start with civilians. All veterans were exposed to things that no civilian will ever be exposed to. We were in the military. We were asked to do things that civilians have no clue about. But we went and did what we did to keep America, America, and people can have opinions, freedom of speech, all that kind of stuff. So, they have their opinion, but they really don't have any clue about what they're talking about. If you think about it, how weird is it, using the thank you for your service? It's just an awkward thing. I talk about that a lot because it really makes me feel weird. And it's awkward. I don't tell civilians, thank you for working at 7-Eleven between 1987 and 1988. We don't need thanks. We did what we did, happy to do it, and we are where we are. We don't really need additional stuff. The time for medals and all that was when we were on active duty. Now we're civilians just like you. So that's basically where we're at. Civilians don't really know how to congratulate us for our service. We don't want congratulations or acknowledgement. We're just at Lowe's getting our discount or whatever we're getting our discount at. And then they just don't understand that VA disability compensation is for us being depreciated in value by the military. It's not a free handout. It's not free money. And getting in that conversation, they're just not going to understand. I'm not saying all of them won't, just a good portion won't understand because they didn't have to put on the uniform. So that's the civilian piece. If you have a 100% VA disability rating and a civilian is giving you a hard time about it, think about it like that. But just don't get into that conversation because it is like that and they're not going to understand. This is an argument you even want to have. Less people that know, the better. Now we'll move on to what other veterans think about your 100% VA disability rating. So this is a completely different person that's also a disabled veteran, but you're both civilians. And I say this a lot. I don't know what this is all about, but I see probably the biggest bashing that goes on, especially in the YouTube comments, is, other disabled veterans giving disabled veterans a hard time. Not sure what this is about, but here's my point here. Again, everybody's entitled to opinion, but, I think you should be disabled. I did this. You didn't do that. Desert Storm wasn't like Vietnam. I'm going to get into what I learned about that. But they are not qualified to make any kind of determination about you. Why? Because they're not doctors. That's why we have doctors. You look like you have a broken leg. Great. Thanks, other disabled veteran guy. Or you look like you don't have a broken leg. Great. Thanks, dude. I'm going to go get an x-ray and a doctor's opinion. No offense. You may be very medically inclined, but I'm going to just go to a doctor for my opinions. Thanks. It pops up in weird places, but when we're talking about getting paid, which is what I'm all about, Veterans Benefits Administration pays. Veterans Health Administration treats. How they treat you is debatable. They haven't treated me too good, neither of those branches. But either way, when you start talking about benefits, trolls come out and they're going to start giving you a hard time. They do what they do. Don't worry about them. That's really all there is to that one. The thing about this is you can't compare your service, what happened to you, what you did or whatever, to somebody else. It's just we're two different people, right? So we both signed up, we both knew what we were putting on the line, our lives. Some of us got maimed. Some of us were crippled. Some of us have hidden disabilities, right? Mental health stuff. Some of us have all four of those things or some kind of combination of those things. That's another thing we don't have any control over. What happened, and we're just trying to, get through day by day going forward. That guy may have a better time dealing with it, or he's figured out a way to mask it, and he's doing better than you are. It's not a dick measuring contest, so it doesn't matter who's doing better. You served, so you deserve, because the military used you as an asset, and they depreciated your value. Now you have what's left over, so get the compensation that you deserve, and that's it. The last piece is how you feel about your 100% VA disability rating. You may feel guilty about it. You may feel like you don't deserve it. I guarantee you, if you made it through the VA bureaucracy and got a 100% VA disability rating, you deserve it. You may feel that you're taking money out of another veteran's pocket. They're more deserving. It's the wrong mindset. I had this at one point in my life, and it's not true. What the other guy does or doesn't have is up to him to go fight for and get. You can't force him to go fight for himself. He has to want to do it. He has to go sell his disability to a doctor. I know I use the word sell and it's ridiculous, but that's what we have to do. And then he has to go pass the C&P exam, explain what's going on with him. Maybe he doesn't even want to open up the mental health Pandora's box. That's fine if you want to keep that bottled up inside, but you have to talk about these things and, be accurate and be honest about what your conditions are if you want to get paid. So when the other guy that you think you're taking money from, when he wants to go get it, he'll go get it, or he won't. Either way, those are things that are out of your control. So don't worry about what you may or may not be taking out of somebody else's pocket, because that's not how it works. That's not what it's about. You cannot force another man to do something they need to do for themselves. You're a depreciated asset. He's a depreciated asset. We all look at this differently. And then something that I learned at a VA hospital in Long Beach years ago, 15, 20 years ago, I kind of used to think like this, and it was kind of weird going to the VA hospital for mental health conditions and waiting in line there at the hospital. And, people had physical disabilities, wheelchairs, missing limbs and stuff. And I was like, wow, I'm not that bad. So I've done this before. So it took an older veteran that I happened to sit next to, and we started a conversation, and yeah, what were you in? Like that. But it was like a cool conversation because he was trying to be helpful. So he's a Vietnam veteran and I'm a Desert Storm veteran. And he basically told me, my war that I was in, Desert Storm, was better than Vietnam because less people got all messed up. And I was like, that's interesting. Tell me more. It's like, basically, I went in, I'm older than you. I went in when I went in, and I did what I had to do, right? On active duty. You did the same thing. That doesn't change. That's the person that first kind of planted the seed that it doesn't matter what we did, because that's done. What matters is what you're going to do to make it through life and make your life better for you and your family. So that was the first time when I kind of got the analogy, and I'm glad it was somebody that was cool and made sure I understood that. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. It is not about the other guy. Some other guys, there's plenty of them that'll be helpful. There's plenty that are not, but this is down to you. You put on the uniform and you signed on the dotted line, and you deserve these benefits, whether you think you deserve them or not. Don't feel guilty about it. You earned them. You deserve them. And again, like I said, you made it through the gauntlet of VA claims and got a 100% rating. That was no easy task. Other people are getting jealous, or they can't figure out how to move the needle on their claim. And there's lots of reasons for that. But going and talking in YouTube comments is not a solution for them. It doesn't help you being bashed by them. And more importantly, it's not moving their claim forward. If you want to learn more about the VA claims process, check out my boot camp. And if you need medical evidence, if one of your doctors isn't helping you, check out my med team. There's an email address in the description. I'll see you in the next video.